fixing it.
Have you looked at like into some like specific stretches and things for it? Like,
what does that mean? Look into, like, have I Googled it? Because no.
Yeah. Because there are specific things that you can do that target specific area. I mean, do you know what damage was specifically done?
What does that mean? Look into. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to pause that. Oh, no, not pause. No, I'm trying to mute. Sorry. What does that? I'm sorry. No. Well, do I know that I fucked it up.
Yeah, I know you fucked it up too. We all know that. The question is like you have an MRI?
I did have an MRI, and basically what it was that like it was just all really kind of fucked up. Like the tendons and whatnot.
So it's tendons. I think that we can find you some like exercises and stretching to do for your tendons in your elbow.
Hello, YouTube. I'm glad that you're here. Just as Dr. Lai is telling me what I need to do to remedy an.
Oh, please don't call me doctor. That's my father. Call me Mr. Lai. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, I should do something. I don't know. It's manageable. Is that a thing?
Yeah. As long as you're not managing your pain with fentanyl or opiates, I think that you're managing it correctly.
I've lived my life as an uninsured person for so many years. And not that I am uninsured now, I have insurance. But like for so many years, I didn't. That like I was just okay. It's like, it'll be fine.
Yeah. And it has turned out to be fine.
Yeah. No, but now it's just, now that once resilient body is now less resilient and just more apt to be like, maybe don't put so much effort into healing. She needs to give some pain,
I like that. We spend too much time in this goddamn world these days focusing on healing. Heal yourself, heal your insides. You can't make gains unless you've healed.
Well, I think that more people should
embrace the pain.
I think that more people should hurt more. Yeah, I think that we lost our tolerance for pain too easy. That's why everyone loves the opiates.
True. And they feel so good.
Hi everybody, we are back again with some GPHH, and it's been so long, so thank you if you're tuning in to YouTube. We appreciate you, the 9 of you that come. Have you noticed that I haven't mentioned anything because it's flawlessly working because I figured it out, Casey?
Wow, I did. I was expecting a little bit of a fit and a start, and then
because the last time we did the show, the tone in your voice when it was like, I don't like starting my show like this. I was like, ew, like you sounded so vile that I was like, I'm going to figure this out. So I never hear that disgusting tone again.
Tones are like smells, because you'll always remember the way a smell made you feel. You won't remember exactly what it was, but you can recollect that moment. And tone is the same way. You remember the noxious taste of the tone that I had about the lackluster technical beginnings of
not lackluster.
Was lackluster.
Whoa, well then let's not keep our fans waiting any longer. Let's see how brilliant you're gonna start this show. Do you want to do it?
Sure.
All right, hold on. We're gonna give you like a 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gay Power Half Hour, the only gay podcast on the internet that's just like a European vacation, because we're full of so many wonderful moments, and we never really go on long enough. With European travel guide Casey Lai and
hello, the glue that keeps it all together, Tony Soto. Did you go to Europe
for just a moment? I did.
I love white people mostly when they come back from vacations because they literally just have it like plastered and everything. He's wearing jewelry that he got from some market
No,
street person.
no. These are crystals that I got next door to your house. First of all, I was on the other one wearing a according to the guy I bought it from, real silver. But he was an African man in Spain who was he forced things into my hand. What a tactic. And then was like, and then like through chatting. And then I was like, no, I don't want this bracelet and I don't want this. And he was like, well, I can see. And then I stupidly had like, I don't know, my wallet was visible, I guess, because I can see you have a 50. You don't need to give me 50 euros for it. And I was like, okay, good, because I'm not giving you 50 euros for this. He was like, well, it can be 20. And I was like, no. And I just wanted him to go away. So I gave him 10 and I got a silver bracelet out of it.
I mean, like you just
from Africa.
I mean, you have that face though. You have tourist face. Like I would imagine that like on all beaches, someone's trying to sell you a maraca or two. You know what I mean? Some kind of a piñata or like because it's just like you got that look about you. Probably wearing
Friendly
a fanny pack or like something across the shoulder.
Okay, I do have a bag slung across my shoulder because the pickpockets are so bad. You want to wear your stuff on your front. You want it visible and zipped up. Everyone knows that. Anyone who has traveled through Spain knows that the pickpockets are really bad in specific moments, and so you have to have your stuff
when you have
taped to your chest.
And when you have a tourist face, you have to be on guard. Absolutely.
You mean friendly and approachable?
100. Well, sure. 100%. I think that's I have gotten through many hairy areas. Like I remember going in Morocco, like walking into the markets and like people are like, but I just have that unapproachable face.
You do. You do. I mean? No one wants to talk to you.
I'm not like, I want someone to walk up to me like I might be hot. You know what I mean? I want that. And I don't want someone to come up and think they can just like throw some kind of cheap craft in my face and tell me that it's going to cost me an ungodly amount unless it's a meat on a stick or maybe a vegetable in like an aioli or something like that. Like a street food, I will bend my knee to a street food. But I don't.
You also very much have a voice like a silence and an aura like an ambulance, as in like people like there's attention is drawn to you at all times, and so I can't imagine a pickpocket thinks you're the best target.
Yeah, because everyone target.
Yeah. It's just you talking in a market. So which is good it's a good tactic is all I'm saying. It's a good tactic.
So your trip was good?
Yeah, it was really good. It was overall a really I don't say this lightly, empowering.
How much of it was work and how much of it was play?
Like 7 days of work and then 2.5 weeks of
Jesus
play.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
So it was a solid amount of pleasure. Although I will say pleasure is work. Sometimes, you really gotta make a commitment to having a good time because it's so easy to just like get caught up in doing nothing on vacation. But when you're trying to see everything and talk to all the people and go to all the places, I like to walk.
I love nothing on vacations. Like,
I like to walk.
Have an agenda. Yeah, I like walking. I like saying, but I don't want an agenda. I don't want like if you have a plan, I think that's cute, and I will ride your plan until I'm uninterested, and then I opt to leave. You know what I mean?
I met up. I worked for a week in London, and then I met up with my parents in Paris for a couple of days, and then I went to Spain for a week by myself, and then met up in Italy with family again. And I shine alone. Like traveling is just so. I mean, like I like being with a group. I love my family, of course. But it does, like on my own, I can just do. I love doing whatever the fuck I want to do all of the time. That's Casey. But I like meeting new people, and there's a lot of new people to meet when you're by yourself. And also, for first time I've ever done this, or first time in a long time I've ever done something like this, where I booked a way into Spain and a way out, and I didn't really have it all filled in even before getting there. And so I just kind of like wung it a little bit, and that was the best because then I kind of literally got to do whatever I wanted to do, and that feels very good. And as we've talked about before, much to your chagrin, I am learning the Spanish language, and just the ability to be able to communicate even in a basic way.
It's not to my chagrin. I don't like that story you're painting. It's that you sound ridiculous when you try to do it like they do it in Spain, because it's ugly. It's ugly to my ear. It's like
to your ear.
It's like when I hear a German speak, I'm like, shh, because there's just like
history really, wrapped up in it.
You really lean into the lisp, and it's just.
I'm not leaning into the lisp.
You lean into it. You lean. And if you didn't lean, maybe it would be so much better. But no, you see, look, she's out and ready. She's out.
I have a big tongue. It needs to.
Yeah. That's why you should challenge yourself to learn Latin American Spanish. And really tighten up those S's. You know what I mean? Really tighten.
I got you. I get where you're coming from. It's a place of hate, and I appreciate your honesty. But I do realize, like, my tongue is definitely big. I every time I fall asleep on a plane, I wake up by biting my fucking tongue. Does that happen to you? Anyone else out there?
No.
And it's because I think I have.
No, that's a weird thing. Tongue. First of all, shove it back in your mouth.
I can't. Seriously, it was forced back into my mouth by a speech therapist around the age of 12. And I have ever since been.
I feel like it's a regression thing. It's a regression thing for you. And it's a slippery slope. And we're going to have to slap the lisp out of your mouth again. And I will do it because I love you. I will happily smack the lisp out of you. I will thin up that tongue. I will. We will work her out. You know what I mean? We'll get her trimmed.
It's good to be back. With people who love and appreciate me, my friends, my best friends, like Tony Soto, who has made it very clear she'll abuse the lisp right out of me. As opposed to Spain, where they embrace the lisp. In fact, people were saying, "Oh, how nice is it for an American to come over here and not expect us to speak English? You can come here and you can stick your tongue out and speak and kiss like a Spaniard."
That's what they say, huh? Yeah.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. A little bit might have been lost in translation because I'm not fluent, but that was the general gist.
Yeah. I love your text messages. You're like, oh, the power in making them laugh, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, we all laugh when you can't say words right.
No, it is, but I will say, I mean, that was
like if Spaniards or anything like Mexicans, we like laughing at white people. You know what I mean? It's our favorite thing to do, because they find it endearing. Anyway, I'm glad you're back.
Thanks. I am happy to be back. It was by a month is a long time to be gone from anywhere. I'll say that. And I am happy to be back.
Although and a lot has happened like since you've been gone. I mean, like the strike was up, now it's over.
I
know. Like Burning Man was a failure. Like like tons of shit. Like
a lot of shit. The two most important things: Burning Man and the strike. Different directions.
No, there was so much more. Like literally, just so much more. But who can keep up at this point? Well, so I just started on a 4-week fast.
Okay.
Because I'm going to do some intermittent fasting for the next 4 weeks because, it's no secret that I have friends, drag queen friends who are doing better than I financially because, they were on the TV or whatnot.
Right.
And I hung out with one recently and was looking at them from across the dinner table. And I'm just like, they're all so skinny.
Is it Ozempic?
My question is, will any doctor just give anybody anything, or do you have to walk in there with like a story?
Depends on how
Ozempic is being passed around to already the thinnest of people, like people who have not suffered with A, diabetes that I know of, or B, obesity in any kind of way. And don't get me wrong. Some of them look amazing. You know what I mean? It makes you jealous. You're like, ugh. But some of them look, what do you call it? Dehydrated?
Sure.
Vacuumed out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Just can you give me a couple of names?
I will never. I will never. The one who is fabulous, and the one who is a ghost is a ghost. Well, listen. At this point, the Ozempic skinny, like even on the bigger folks that are on it that are coming out, I'm like everyone's just Star Jonesing, everyone's just keeping it tight-lipped, not saying anything about it.
Yeah, it's Hollywood. You got to pretend.
But like even the skinny are on it, and I'm just like, my question is, what do you have to ask? Like, what do you have to tell to your doctor to get it? So here's my thing. I'm doing an experiment. Been very busy lately, working, cross-dressing, doing things, getting my shit out there. And I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the intermittent fasting for 4 weeks, which means I'm going to like start it. I'll eat from 10 to 7 p.m. and then I will fast for the rest. And I've already been back at the gym, working out, doing all this shit. I was like, going to watch my food intake, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to see if I can get the same results in 4 weeks from just doing that than like what these people look like on their Ozempic. So this is my experiment to myself.
I think it's a great idea. I think that you have the ability to be disciplined in a way that a lot of people do not. And so I think that once you set up a goal for yourself, you achieve those things. So
I lack consistency, but when I'm going, I'm going. Yeah.
And I think with something like something like this, you'll start to see results quick. And I think results are the best way to keep going, on something. I also think not having to take a pill is a good, a
shot,
take
Casey.
medicine.
It's a shot, Casey.
I don't know. I've never.
It's like a fucking EpiPen or something. Like you're injecting it. Look, here's the thing. It's made some people that I've seen recently look quite lovely, the bigger folks, and kudos and whatnot. But it's just bizarre to me that the already skinnies are on it, like because of the trouble spots. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, really? So for the paunch, you decided to do the Ozempic?
By all accounts, from I don't know too much about it, but it is one of those things where the question is like, if there's a magic pill for a thing, do you take a magic pill or a magic EpiPen? And I think that up until now, and the things are saying that it's a pretty effective and relatively risk-free way of doing a thing.
Well, that we know of. Who knows?
We know of. And so I still, my what I was going to say is like, I think if you are committed to change without it, I think it's the better route to take.
Well, that's what I was saying too. I was like, the thing is like once you're off of it though, it stops working. So it's like you either have to stay on it forever or you have to like adjust it so that you can like come off it at some point. But I'm just I don't understand why the already skinnies are doing it. Like I don't understand why if you're
if you get a thing, everyone loves to be part of a fad. Everyone loves to be part of a fad. Well, and it's like bougie bullshit.
I guess it was it before we started recording that I mentioned about the uninsured. Like I walk in with anxiety to ask a doctor for anything.
Yeah, I hear that.
I mean, I don't. So I would never go in and be like, "Hey, so what do I got to do to get the Ozempic?" And because I would imagine that the doctor would be like, "Why? You don't need it. You're an already skinny."
Yeah,
But
it turns out they're like,
but what if they were like, "Oh my God, you're a perfect candidate."
Yeah. We've been waiting for you to ask, Tony. We're not allowed to push it because there's an ethical thing. But honestly, we've all been talking about it in the office that you need an Ozempic shot. So I'm happy you came in. Stop intermittent fasting. It doesn't work. I don't know. You know, it's also it does have that feeling of fucking Dr. 420 too. It's like you're right. Like all of a sudden, you know, it's still technically only allowed for people who need it, but it turns out that everyone needs it, I guess. You know?
I mean, it's wild.
Anxiety. I have anxiety. I need a shot.
Well,
I need a fat shot.
I think that's literally what they're trying to do with Ozempic at this point too, is find more things that it helps besides weight loss and diabetes. Because if they make it,
does it make your dick hard? Because then we'll really sell it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like I'm just waiting for him to say it helps depression. So I'll be like, well, of course I'm sad. Well, but here's the thing too. It's like I feel like there should be some. I feel like there should be some struggle with weight loss.
I mean, there always has been. And I think, you know, it's that question of like Kate Moss, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels except for stainless steel being thrust into my butt because that tastes really good because that's what a shot is. That's what a taking a shot, and Ozempic is a shot.
Got you.
I know it's making me skinnier, so I want to eat.
It was very graphic for just the Ozempic talk. That's all.
Sorry. I'm out of practice. I haven't done a podcast in a month. I'm a little too visceral, a little too real. Traveling.
she's been putting her place as an American in all places in Europe. They were like, here's why you're wrong, little American.
Pipe down, Trumpy.
Yeah, exactly. We know what you want. Our McDonald's fries.
I love how no one really wanted to talk about Trump over there. One Irish guy literally told me to shut my dirty potato hole because I was talking about Trump, and I was like, that's a good reminder. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. It was like, something on TikTok recently happened where someone was mentioning a group of people in South Africa that call themselves colored people. Okay.
And some American a black girl, stitched it and was like, oh, no. That is what they called us here in America to keep us down. And then like all of South Africa TikTok rallied and was like, listen, American black girl, you don't know anything about our culture over here. Yeah. That is a group of people, blah, 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 blah. And it was just like one of those situations where one of the people was like doing a stitch was like, Americans have to realize that their country we do not think about America every day of our lives. You know what I mean? Like people in other countries do not think about, we think that we're the standard and that everyone wants to be us, but that is not entirely true everywhere. You know what I mean?
Why do you think I like not being in America so much?
Although there is one town, I saw a documentary of a town in China, I think it was, we might have already talked about it on this show, but it was like called Americaville or whatever, and it's in South Korea, I think, but that's different from China. No, it is in China because I remember it's big on pollution. There was the whole thing like we're getting out of town because it's so polluted. Beijing, China, right? Beijing is in China. I don't know. Great. That was the city that they had to work in. But then they would go into this town out like a couple of hours outside, and it's like this town that's designed to look like an American suburban town. And they have American style parties, and they make American style food. Badly. It's such an interesting documentary, but they go there. It's a replica of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Yes, it's in the mountains north of Beijing. Yes. That is it. They did a documentary about it, and it's just so fascinating to like their interpretations of our culture and like what they really what we're really known for still to this day is the Old West. Yeah. Well, because I mean, that's all we got. That's our culture.
great transition into American politics, because American politics are very much reminiscent till to this
Trump
day
did just
of
buy a gun.
the wild motherfucking West.
Trump did just buy a
Sure
Glock.
did.
Yeah, with his face on it.
A solid goal with his face on it. I just hope that, irony of ironies, he buys the gun, and everyone knows, like, sure, mass shootings and violent crime are a real thing in America, but suicide is the way that most people die, by guns or mistakenly shooting yourself. Wouldn't it be amazing if he's like, how does this thing work? And he shoots himself in the face with his Glock with his face on it. That is all that I want to happen. Call me a dreamer.
Did you see the video though, Casey? Did you see the video of him buying the Glock, or saying that he?
Yeah.
So listen, we have not seen a receipt. We did not see cash change hands, but the world saw a video of Donald Trump holding the gun, talking to the guy, being like, oh, they like me. Trump said that. He said, oh, they like me. I want to buy this gun. That's what he did say. I want to buy this gun. Now,
Yes.
Whether he did buy it or not, we don't know.
But
what
wait.
we know is that his people around him tweeted that he did.
They tweeted that he did. His spokesperson said he bought the gun.
Yeah.
But
retracted it.
Well, do you know why?
Deleted it. Because a felon, someone who
a person under indictment is legally not allowed to buy a gun, and it's throw it on the pile of felonies you just kind of walk into. It's very interesting when you don't know anything about the law. It's very easy to commit crimes, and that's one thing for your random yokel going out there to buy a gun with a picture of his face on his gun. But when you're the president of the United States and you're trying to buy a gun with a picture of your face on the gun, someone at least around you would hope would be like, you can't do that, because that's illegal, and you have a lot of, I don't know if you've noticed, legal issues. And so
where is that? And now look, I know that he notoriously wants to be left alone. He kept his own personal phone for all 4 years of his presidency. Like, he doesn't want any regulations on him. He's Trump. But like at this point, he's got 91 counts against him. Why? And it just came out that he can't do business in New York anymore because he grossly overstated his wealth, which is what we said. We people have been saying for years, that he was never as rich as he says he was. Never a billionaire. Let's be very true. Maybe a millionaire. We might give him that.
Yeah.
But so it's just like, why is someone not being like, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't the right girl you should be hanging out with because she's going to take you to places like gun shows?
The Second Amendment says that you can own a gun, and so you can own a gun.
Because she tweeted about it. She was like, "Oh, he got." She was on her boyfriend's fucking whatever janky little news show he's got or whatever. Bragging about it, saying that he got the gun. She's trash. Why would you have someone who obviously doesn't know anything about law like Marjorie Taylor Greene? This is why
the laws are for nerds and for squares and for queers. Everyone
but with the
knows
looming
that.
shutdown,
Hunter Biden.
With the looming shutdown, like it's just so obvious what parts of the country vote in people for rhetoric instead of knowledge, because there's so many people that are in politics today that have no idea how politics work. Like when people are sent notes back being like, your complaint against us sounds ridiculous and stupid, because they don't know what they're talking about. Like,
are you talking about something in specific other than the gun, or like?
No, I'm talking about like just every situation that has been out there since, outside of Trump. Like we're talking like every other Republican politician who was like guns, Jesus, America.
Don't elect your peers, elect people who are better than you, but
who have no knowledge of how government actually works, but they are currently in office pretending to know how government works. Like you have the Republican Party that's like, oh God, my watch. You have the Republican Party just eating themselves is basically what I'm saying, because we have old Republican politicians that know how it works, and they're frustrated because it's not working. Because
their brains are stopping to work because they're old and they keep having to pause at news conferences to stare death in its face.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, the most direct example of this is the looming government shutdown that will be caused perhaps this weekend by the Republican caucus, and I would say leadership, but there is no clear leadership to point to except for one wet bag named Kevin McCarthy. Leaking everywhere. It's disgusting. I just want Nancy Pelosi to kill him with a heel to the temple. But knew she's not around anymore.
We knew that this was going to play out badly. Like when it takes 15 votes to vote you into your job.
Yeah.
Knowing that like it's so funny because it's like I distinctly remember talking about wanting to watch them implode. And now that we are watching it, I'm just kind of like, it is satisfying, but also it's just painful because it's like, how did they win the House? How did they ever win the House?
Gerrymandering and misinformation, and those two things are very powerful in combination, and also are, the bullshit structure that allows like 30% of this country to have the same amount of power as 70% of the country. I mean, it's truly like not fair, and yet here we are. I think the Republicans who want to shut the government down don't specifically know what they want, and that's Kevin McCarthy's and everyone else's frustration. Is like, we're just trying to piece together an agreement with people who have no fucking clue what they're asking for, except to get exactly what they want, which is an end to all fucking spending that isn't just the military, and not just the military. They get but also only military for fucking Tommy Tuberville's fucking bullshit military, not the military that is actually fighting in Ukraine. Not they don't want to fund anything, and that is not the way that a government fucking works. And I don't know. I think Biden's doing a good job of being like, you guys fucking figure it out, because this. We know what we want, and you guys don't want to do any of it. So figure out what you want, and we'll fucking have a conversation about it. But
what was interesting was his press secretary was like, look, it's already been voted on. Like everything's like it went to there, then it came to the Senate, then it went back. Like it's good. Like everyone's ready to go. Like there's nothing because like I love how like the right-wing media wants to be like, what could Biden be doing more to get this? He's like nothing. Like besides saying like, hey, maybe we do it. Like it's not Biden's job. And this is like before we started recording, like when we're talking about like people not knowing how government works. Like it's not Biden's job to go over and tell like it's their job to keep him in check. Like that's the roles. So like it's like until America gets smart again and actually learns about the government that they're complaining about, the president that they think is too fucking old, like before they want to keep complaining about him, actually research and look and see if he's actually being a good functional accomplished president, because he is. Now, you might hate grandpa, but that doesn't mean that grandpa's not working. All right. Just because you don't like to see him dodder around, just because it makes your heart hurt because you think about your grampy in the last of his days.
Yeah, because he had to take a job at Walmart because there were no worker protections, and he had his Social Security cut because that's what the Republicans wanted. And even though he voted for those Republicans, he still had to die in Walmart at work because there was no money left in his pension. And that's what actually fucking happens. And yeah, Joe Biden wants to work, and he's still capable of working. And for all intents and purposes, it appears that
Betty White worked up until she was 100.
And she was a national treasure.
She did hot in Cleveland well past Biden's age.
Mm-hmm.
And we all watched that show. That show went on for seasons. We were like, we love her. Crass old lady talking about things, calling people sluts. Y'all loved it. And like, this is the thing. I don't know if it's because he does look so old. Is that what it is? It's because I just don't understand it, and we were talking about this before we started recording. We got a little heated between you and I, because you were saying, and we're going to just wrap this up after we chat this out just for a moment. Okay. You were saying the person who had told me since the election, Tony, you got to give him a chance. You got to give him a chance. And then I'm giving Biden a chance. And then what does he do? Oh, he starts to deliver. And then how do we start our conversation? And then you're like, oh, I think Biden's going to back out. I think he's going to drop out.
I want to say
drop out.
I want to say this. First of all, one,
the hand's out. You see that hand? That hand is
I am thrilled, okay, that you, one, fucking listened to me and you got behind Biden and you gave him a chance, because it's clear if you're paying attention, one thing that I do appreciate one thing, you do pay attention. And if you're paying attention, it's hard to argue that Biden isn't doing a really good job of being the president of a shit show. One. Two, let's talk about some good things really quick. We mentioned it, but we didn't really talk about it. The WGA strike was resolved, from what we understand, with really great terms for the writers. The writers are getting what they want, and they're making a stand, and they extended the profession of being a fucking screenwriter, and I do think saved this fucking industry by standing their ground. And I think one thing that is important to remember is it does matter. If you're a union member and if you're looking for workers' rights, who's in the White House? And Joe Biden, despite having to pick and choose his battles, has been a staunch supporter of workers. And I think that will pay off with the auto worker strike that's happening. I think it is a good time in this country, for the first time in a long time, to be a worker. I support Joe Biden 100%. That being said, I don't know. I just started to have a feeling recently that
listen in, folks, about her feeling.
I feel everyone that I talk to outside of Los Angeles, everyone that I just
she comes back from a trip. It
is hard not to take everyone. The reason, in my mind, the reason it's still such a close race is because there's so many people who have not decided, and they don't like Trump. They hate Trump. They won't vote for Trump, but they just think Biden is too old, and they will vote for literally anyone else who's not that fucking old, who's not a communist, and who's not Kamala Harris, unfortunately. And so I don't know. Newsom's been out there a lot lately. He recently said he's not gonna run, whereas before he was saying he's definitely not gonna run. And I don't know. There's just something in my mind that's saying Biden and camp and Newsom camp are coming up with an agreement that's going to be an interesting transfer of power. Is all I'm saying. Watch this space, as certain other liberal conspiracy theorists.
I said that first of all, that is too baller of a move for the Democratic Party to ever do. What they will do is they're going to double down on the old geezer who's doing the fucking job. I do not understand.
I'm fine with the old geezer.
Like, what is it? Like, I need to know what it is from these fucking people who are like, I hate Trump, but Biden is like, what? Like, do you think that he's like actually out there shoveling the dirt? Like, I don't understand. Like, do you think he's actually out there? Like, here's what he's not doing. He's not throwing fucking paper towel rolls at fucking hurricane survivors. You know, like he's fucking out, but he sure does go out and visit all those fucking places that were ravaged by climate change induced fucking natural disasters. You know, like everything burns up and he's like, I want to help. You know, like he tried to help fucking Florida, and Florida's like, we don't want your money.
Look,
this is a bitch. Like,
look,
damn.
Look, if we didn't have very clear recent examples of this country getting fucked over by people who stay too long in their jobs, it would be one thing. But we have Ruth, who fucking ruined the fucking Supreme Court by clinging on for way too long. And we have Dianne Feinstein, who should have fucking retired long ago, because we have an ineffectual fucking judicial fucking committee in the Senate as a result of her as well. And we have McConnell on the other side.
She had an ego,
you know. And I for the first time in a while, I understand that I get the argument that. But I agree. Biden just needs to win. I don't care about 4 years, but that's not what other people are thinking. And the argument, so many people's argument would be taken away if someone who was 20 years younger with very much the same policies as Biden, so much of the argument would be taken away. I'm not saying that I'm just saying, I don't know, whatever. I'm just having a feeling that
if you're talking to conservative people who are now never Trumpers, but once were Trumpers, I don't want their opinion on what happens over here on the blue side. And like, I'm sorry that you were cool with 4 years and nothing getting done, and that was all right by you. But now all of a sudden you're like some dude who's actually doing good. It's because you're doing good for the poor. That's what it is. It's because you're doing things for poor people. And you don't fucking like that. You know what? Shove it. Those people could shove it. I don't, these like, oh, now I don't like Trump. Now you don't like Trump? You know who's
no, they didn't like Trump the first time.
You know who's not like Trump? You know, whatever. I don't give a fuck who you talk to. All right. They're fucking wrong. All right. They're fucking wrong. And it's because you hate old people. And it's either because you're an old person and you're staring your own death in your face. And I can't help with that. Make that fucking peace with your own goddamn maker. You know what I mean? Or it's because you're an absolute ageist who just doesn't like old people. Or you're one of these fucking little wishy-washy people who thinks it's your fucking almost dead grandparent that you love so much. And you don't want to see fall on a bike at some point because cameras are always on him. Deal with it.
I think it was the news story that I saw that there's a whole plan that the Biden team has in place to like make sure he doesn't trip. And it is like, you know, those
give him a third wheel on that bike. I don't care. Like, I don't care.
I agree. I just there's no doubt in my mind that once people are forced to make a decision, they're not going to choose Trump because he's a disaster, and people know that. But it's still, it would be nice to not have to worry about this stupid election.
Wait, Casey, have you seen? Have you seen that like vest thing that they've given to old people? I think it was made in China. All the good things are, but like as soon as the old person starts to fall, like a fucking airbag opens up around.
I love that.
I would like Biden walking around in that. Put him in one of those.
Get it? Put it. You can make one. You can, come on. We're America. We can do a lot of stuff. You can put it underneath. You can make one that's sleek that goes underneath his suit. You know, and maybe it'll even make him look thicker, which is a good. You don't want him to look too thin. You want him to look thick. And then if he does fall, it explodes. It'll break the suit, but it will be great to watch. And he'll be like, "Oh, my noggin's good.
I just
ain't no problem with my noggin."
I just want liberals, Democrats, progressives to fucking rally like conservatives would at this point and shut the fuck up. Like, why can't we like a win? Like we're watching our opposing party break down from inside, like the bipartisan politics that fucking Biden has managed to push through is working. Your roads are getting fixed. Your bridges are getting worked on. Like, what in the fuck? Like, what in the fuck?
I agreed. I agreed. I got you this riled up for Biden. I made you a big boy Biden boy. And I love that about you.
Well, listen, it would have never hadn't
done his job. I know. I wouldn't be supporting him if he wasn't doing his job.
But nobody knows what the president actually does. And that's the fucking problem. Y'all want to bitch about gas when, you know, Russia's literally trying to stronghold a country to take it over and is punishing us with that whole bullshit. But like, no, you're all like, oh, we got to stop funding Ukraine. That's the thing. You don't know world politics. Like it's like the one thing that Nikki Haley said to that
Vivek
Ramaswamy or whatever, when she was like, yeah, you look like a novice who has no idea about fucking world politics. Do you think it's just this country? Like, that's like McCarthy is like, oh no, funding for Ukraine is a no-go. Like, because we're forgetting about America. you know what? The success of Ukraine actually is good for America.
Yeah. Even Lindsey Graham gets it. If she can get that.
Well, she just hates the Ruskies. She always has, because that's
she does.
she's,
I saw she and
she is a dated villain of all. Like she's like Miss Lindsay is forever like a fucking certain decade.
The Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. Hide me under a desk, please, somebody.
But yeah, I mean, like, look, like that's why that's the one thing where I'm like, well, listen, we'll always have old school Republicans on, like they'll be for a war, like they they love it,
That's
you
true.
know. And I'm like, and in this situation, we have to support Ukraine. But anyway, my God, we've gone very long.
It's the first show back. We're allowed to.
I know we talked for an hour before.
It's been a long
time.
Believe me, I'm tired. I haven't fully readjusted to this American time frame.
I know. It's so blah here.
There's just, the espresso is not good enough to keep you going.
It's really funny because Casey and I have this little notes, right, where we like spitball our topics every week, and this is what I woke up to. Don't worry, I don't need to talk about my trip that much, but I mean, this would never happen in Europe. And it was a link to a story out of Houston where someone in the drive-thru was so obnoxious about curly fries that when they came up to the window, the lady employee shot at them.
It was nice to order.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, Casey. Well, you don't like to see freedom?
No, like if I ordered mule frite and didn't get my frite in a courtyard in Spain, I had an argument about wanting my frite. I like at worst they would come at me with like a knife that could a sharp knife that could cut that could skin jamon like no other. But I would take my chances with the jamon slicing knife wielding maniac than fucking Beth at Jack in the Box. Okay, is all I'm saying. It has its perks.
Oh
Anyway.
my God. Just a random thought for anyone out there. Support local public libraries. I just updated I got my library card updated. No, this is gonna go back to your nonsense about frites. I've been doing so. If you get your public library card, then if you get Hoopla, which is like an app, then you get to check out 21 free books every month. And this is like Audible. This is
wow.
This is like movies, like
I want it.
Or you can get Canopy, which is another
Canopy.
app, and that gives you 9 free rentals of all kinds of fucking movies, documentaries, all kinds. That's how I watched a documentary about the American town in China. So
Gotcha. Which you didn't remember where it was, but
I was reading a book. Hey, I got it right. But
I guess when you're reading and watching so much, thanks to Hoopla and Canopy, it's hard to remember where the Americanville towns are.
I was reading a book on Audible recently, and some lady said frites really weird, so it was triggering. But then she also said misogyny.
Well,
is that right?
I don't think so.
It's misogyny, right? Like
I think so.
Definitely said misogyny, and I was like, misogyny. Some of these readers
really makes you hate women when they mispronounce misogyny, right? Incorrectly.
I trying to tell you everything. All right. Well,
get a man to read
it. No, like music. I prefer a female voice read to me. I don't want to hear a man's voice. Sometimes it's phlegmy. We've come to the end of the show. Casey,
a while ago,
back from her European trip. I don't know if you know this, but she just got back from Europa. And she looks tired. Let's be honest. Let's just be real. So, Casey, why don't you tell us what you're up to now that you're back in the States?
You can, I just had some shows. I know there's others coming up, but, it's hard to get your calendar straight, when it's just been so freewheeling for a bit, but, I will be featuring at the Punchline, October 18th through the 20th. So that's coming up. So enjoy buying tickets to that, everyone. You can find me on Instagram, KC Ley, Ley. Although you did just miss a month of really great stories. So if you haven't followed me, maybe there's some in the highlights you can catch up. Other than that, Tony, what are you doing?
Oh my God. You just made fucking Instagram feel like Facebook. So, Jesus. Y'all, you know me. I'm just an amazing drag artist that loves to cross-dress for the enjoyment of ungrateful and fickle audiences anywhere. So if you have enjoyed me in any way, then follow Tony Soto Productions on Instagram. That's where you can get the drag stuff. And if you just want to see, me being relevant, sharing stories and highlights on the Instagram, then follow me at the Tony Soto Show, and also TikTok, the Tony Soto Show. That's great. We did it. We're back. That was like easy. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Ciao.